Bills Mafia, welcome back. You know the mission. This Buffalo team is working every single day to get better, to sharpen up, and a push toward bringing that Lombardi trophy home where it belongs. The journey's long, but every week this squad proves they're committed to improvement. And speaking of commitment, do me a favor right now. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications so you never miss our exclusive Bills coverage. Now let's dive into tonight's matchup because we've got two big storylines you need to know about. Jaylen Waddle suiting up for the Miami Dolphins and Ed Oliver still sidelined for Buffalo. Here we are, Week 3. Thursday Night Football, Bills versus Dolphins, one of the fiercest rivalries in the AFC East. Buffalo comes into this game at 2-0, riding high after convincing wins against the Baltimore Ravens and New York Jets. Meanwhile, Miami is reeling. They've been blown out by the Colts, they've lost to the Patriots, and their season already feels like it's teetering on the edge. One more bad loss, and you can almost guarantee big changes are coming in South Beach. But let's be clear, the Dolphins may be down, but they are not without talent. And one of the biggest weapons they have is wide receiver Jaylen Waddle. All week long, Waddle has been questionable with a shoulder injury. There were doubts about whether he'd even suit up, but here's the latest. Not only is Waddle expected to play tonight, but reports say he's going to be a big factor in Miami's offensive game plan. That changes things, Bills Mafia. On the season so far, Waddle has 9 catches for 98 yards and a touchdown. Against New England, he hauled in an 18-yard touchdown and added another explosive play with a 23-yard reception. His chemistry with Tua Tagovailoa can be streaky, but when they click, they hit you with chunk plays that flip the field. Now, why does this matter so much? Because pairing Waddle with Tyreek Hill makes Miami's offense twice as dangerous. Hill stretches defenses vertically. Waddle, when healthy, can torch you underneath or across the middle. And when both are on the field together, defenses are forced to pick their poison. For Buffalo, that means our secondary has to be locked in. Rasul Douglas, Christian Benford, Taron Johnson, they've all got to be sharp. And with Matt Milano's status still a question mark, there's added pressure on Dorian Williams and Terrell Bernard to cover the middle and not let Waddle or Hill exploit any soft spots in the zone. The Dolphins know they're desperate. They know Buffalo is the heavy favorite. Waddle's return isn't just about numbers, it's about hope. Miami needs a spark, and they're betting Waddle can deliver it. Now let's flip the script to Buffalo's side of the ball. Because while the Dolphins are getting a key weapon back, the Bills are still without one of their defensive anchors. Ed Oliver's out again this week with an ankle injury. He missed Week 2 against the Jets, and despite some progress, he's shed the walking boot, which is a good sign. The team isn't rushing him back. Head coach Sean McDermott has been clear. The #1 priority is player safety. Oliver won't return until the medical staff says it's safe, and until there's no risk of making things worse. That's tough news, because Oliver has become a cornerstone of this defense. His ability to collapse the pocket, disrupt the run game, and demand double teams opens up opportunities for guys like Gregory Rousseau and Joey Bosa. Without him, Buffalo's front four loses some of that inside push. The good news, the Bills have the depth to hold down the fort for now. And let's be real, the schedule works in their favor. After Miami, Buffalo faces the Saints and Patriots, two teams that aren't exactly offensive juggernauts. That gives Oliver more time to heal while still allowing the Bills to stay on track. But make no mistake, when we start facing the heavy hitters later in the season, Buffalo will need Oliver back. Games against Kansas City, Cincinnati, and even the rematch with Baltimore will demand his presence. So the timing here is delicate. Rest him now, reap the benefits later. So let's connect the dots. On one side, the Dolphins are banking on Jaylen Waddle to be the spark that finally wakes up their season. On the other, Buffalo is managing without Ed Oliver, but trusting its depth to keep the defense strong. This comes down to execution. For Buffalo's defense, the key will be containing both Hill and Waddle. That means disciplined coverage, help over the top, and constant pressure on Tua Tagovailoa. Remember, Tua is a completely different quarterback when his first read is taken away. If Buffalo's pass rush, led by Bosa, Rousseau, and Leonard Floyd, can collapse the pocket, Tua won't have the time to let Hill or Waddle get separation downfield. On offense, the Bills need to take advantage of Miami's weaknesses. Their secondary has been shaky, and with Storm Duck nursing an injury, Josh Allen should have opportunities to pick them apart. And you know Dalton Kincaid is always lurking as a mismatch against linebackers. The formula is simple. Play smart, stay balanced, and don't give Miami extra life with turnovers. If Buffalo does that, they should walk out of Highmark Stadium at 3-0. Now here's what's fascinating, Bills Mafia. This game is about more than just Week 3. It's about momentum. A win here keeps Buffalo unbeaten, keeps confidence sky high, and sends yet another message to the AFC East that the Bills are still the team to beat. It also buys them time to get guys like Oliver healthy, knowing they've already built a cushion in the standings. But for Miami, though, this is do-or-die territory. A third straight loss, and the calls for major changes will only get louder. Waddle might be their X-factor, but if Buffalo shuts him down, it could be the beginning of the end for their season. This past Sunday, wide receiver Elijah Moore reminded everyone why Buffalo brought him in. Against his former team, the New York Jets, Moore hauled in his first touchdown of the season. It wasn't just another score. It was a statement. Moore has quickly become a Swiss Army knife in Joe Brady's offense, lining up in multiple spots, creating mismatches, and giving Josh Allen another reliable target. You can already see how his versatility is paying off. But what's even more exciting than his production is what Moore revealed off the field. Earlier this week, Moore joined Chris Brown and Bills legend Steve Tasker on One Bills Live. The conversation wasn't just about X's and O's. It was about what makes this Buffalo team feel different, and what he said should make Bills fans proud. He admitted, "I've never really been a part of a team that is this close." That's coming from a guy who's been in 2 other NFL locker rooms with the Jets and Browns. Think about that for a second. He's been around talented rosters, yet he says this Buffalo squad feels unlike anything he's experienced. That's not a coincidence. It's culture.
And here's where it gets even more interesting. Joey Bosa, who had a short stint with the Bills earlier this year, echoed that same sentiment. He said he spent more time hanging with teammates in 6 weeks in Buffalo than he had in his entire career elsewhere. Let that sink in. This is an NFL veteran with years of locker room experience saying Buffalo feels different. Moore was asked what sets Buffalo apart compared to his past teams, and his response was simple yet powerful. The guys, the people, I feel like I'm a part of a group right now where everybody talks to everybody. That's not something you can fake. In a league where cliques and divides are common, Buffalo stands out. He went further, saying, on most teams, you've got the offensive line sticking to themselves, the defensive backs with their own group, but here the O-linemen are hanging out with the DBs, the quarterback chills with the kicker. Everybody just mixes. That's unity. That's family. And it's exactly what Sean McDermott has been building since he took over. Now let's pause for a second. Some fans have been critical of McDermott, especially after tough playoff exits, but stories like this prove his biggest success hasn't just been game plans, it's been culture. He's fostered an environment where players genuinely want to be here, where free agents feel comfortable, where veterans are even willing to take pay cuts to stay. That doesn't happen everywhere in the NFL. Moore wrapped up his comments with something every fan should smile about. Everywhere I look, I feel comfortable. And that's not always the case. That's not just a nice soundbite. That's a man telling you he feels at home in Buffalo. And when players feel at home, they play harder, they buy in, and they create something special. So what does this mean for the Bills moving forward? It means the chemistry we're seeing isn't accidental. It's intentional. It's built brick by brick through relationships, accountability, and leadership. That's why when Josh Allen throws a touchdown to Elijah Moore, it's not just a quarterback and receiver making a play, it's the product of trust, unity, and belief in one another. And that's exactly the kind of foundation you need if you want to hoist a Lombardi trophy. So here we are, Bills Mafia. Jalen Waddle is in the lineup, Ed Oliver is out again, and all eyes are on Thursday Night Football. Buffalo has the chance to keep rolling, to keep building, and to keep proving they're one of the elite teams in the NFL. But I want to hear from you. Do you think Waddle will actually make an impact against this defense? Or do you think Buffalo's depth and pass rush will be too much for Miami to handle? And how concerned are you about Ed Oliver's injury moving forward? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'll be checking them out and featuring some of your takes in our next video. And don't forget, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a single update. We've got you covered all season long, from every storyline, every rumor, and every big win. This is Buffalo Beat News, and we'll see you after the game. Go Bills!